Alright, so the purpose of this video is just quickly kind of show you how to make a graph and get an equation and an r-squared value. So I have here some data which I've typed in, and typically the left column is going to be the x, the right column is going to be the y. That's the easiest way to do it, so you don't have to adjust anything. But just select your data. So I'm going to select all my points, and then I'm going to find, under here on this Excel thing, I have an insert chart button. But sometimes you might have to go to a menu and say, charts, somehow get to insert a chart. So insert chart, the one you're looking for is called a scatter or a marked scatter. And so on this one, if I scroll down enough, I want this scatter plot that has no lines connecting any of the points. They're just all sort of on their own. So I'm going to click mark scatter, and so that's going to create my graph. And so here it is. It looks like a line, but I want to now get a line of best fit. So what I'm going to do is on the graph, I'm going to select the points. They're all going to get highlighted. I'm going to go up to chart, and I'm going to say add trend line. Now the default trend line is linear, which most of the time, a lot of relationships we deal with are going to be linear, but they don't have to be. You could choose another one that looks more like it, power, exponential. If you think it's an exponential relationship, it's up to you. But I'm going to stick with linear, and then I'm going to click on options. And under options, there are a few things that we have. One is I'm going to say display equation. So that's going to give me the best equation they can come up with for this data. And I want to know how good this equation is. So I'm going to say display r-squared value. The closer that is the 1, the better the equation is. Another thing you might find here is set intercept. This is something you might use if you know for a fact that your data goes through the origin or somewhere else. You can force it to do that. So this is going to actually alter your line. And so be sure you know what you're doing if you're going to select this. But in our case, I'm not going to select it. I want to just see what's their line of best fit. So I'm going to hit OK. And what's going to pop up is an equation, which I can move to the side if I want to print this and kind of make it look nice. If I select it, I can drag it over to the side. So this is the equation for this line of best fit. And the r-squared value is 0.99872. So that means it's pretty close to accurate. This is a pretty good line. So this is a lot easier than trying to graph it by hand and trying to calculate the slope yourself. It should be a little bit more precise. And again, if this were a different type of relationship, I could get any number of equations. They don't have to be linear, but that's probably the one to use most often. And if I was going to print this graph and hand it in, I would need to go and add some axes and a title, but we're not going to go into that now. This is sort of the purpose of this video. So until next time, I am Derek Genova. Have a delightful day.